Before today's episode starts, I want to tell you about our sponsor. Thank you so much, Village Pizza. Village Pizza is the home of pizza in Perry County. They have a wide variety of toppings, desserts, and other high-quality items on their menu. They offer the highest of quality when it comes to dining in all of Perry County. Village is an excellent option if you are looking for an affordable meal, good employees, and a great environment. And if you want to throw a party, what better way to cater it than with a guaranteed W party food? Their staff is always hard at work providing you homemade ingredients, all mixed into a perfect circle cut into triangles. Their pizzas are more than good, they are great. And if you're looking for a good job, Village Pizza is always looking for helping hands in the kitchen and up front. So go pick you up an application and start your journey as the pizza man you always dreamed of being. They are located at 853 Squirrel Hollow Drive in Linden, Tennessee. So go get you some Village Pizza and kick back and enjoy this episode of the Perry County Podcast. What's up, Perry County? Welcome back to the Perry County Podcast, Perry County's #1 podcast.
That's right.
Thank you all so much for listening, watching, viewing, and subscribing. So today, Trent, we're obviously missing a second co-host.
Yeah, he's out today.
But he actually has left a message for everybody.
Hey, sorry, I ain't gonna make it on the podcast tonight, boys. I'm about 4 hours away, so y'all have a good one.
Yeah, Trent, he's off on an FFA trip, so he won't be here for this one. But he will be back next week. He's not gone. So I know all of y'all are upset. You're not going to hear his voice. So
His sweet, sweet voice.
yeah, but we actually do have a wonderful guest today. Today, our guest is the man that you usually don't want to have a conversation with because it usually means something bad's happened.
That's right.
But we've brought him on today to have a lovely conversation with him. He is the man, the myth, the legend, Big Papi.
What's up?
What's up, man?
What's up, fellas?
How are you
for having
doing
me
today?
on? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming.
Let's talk about this. I pull up, and I'm just sitting in my, little Ford Ranger, and then there's this big F-150 over here, and this dude over here in a big old Dodge, and I'm like, okay. So we're playing a game of Get Squished, and it's gonna happen. I'm just dying right here, off the bat. This man pulls in. I'm like, oh, okay, this is not gonna go good.
Yeah. Yeah, you do definitely drive the smallest truck out of us, 30.
Definitely.
It's all right. You got to start somewhere.
So,
Just remember, I started with that little red Colorado.
That's true. That's true.
this man here, he works many different jobs, and he's been all over the place, I reckon. So, I'm going to start off by asking you, all these places you worked at, where all you work at now?
Well, currently, it depends on if you're talking paid jobs or unpaid jobs. And I like to count all of them, because
Alright.
all of them are something that I get to do, and
Yep.
I love to do. Paid jobs, I'm a 911 dispatcher here in the county. It's a great job. It's very fulfilling, very rewarding job. Like you said earlier, I'm not a guy you really want to talk to.
Not at all.
Not at all.
I hate talking to
Usually
this
something
guy.
bad has happened, but it's all right. We're there to help people get through it.
All right.
I also work at Ace Hardware. Everybody knows Duncan's Ace. Love it there. It's a great atmosphere, great people.
So, are you the helpful hardware folk I hear all about that Ace has?
We try to be,
We do try. I mean,
but we usually turn things over to Mr. Scott.
yeah, usually.
Fair enough. And Scott will help you find anything.
That's
He
right.
will. He can
Scott's
point
good.
to it.
But, yeah, before we even dive into any conversations, man, you want to have some Village Pizza cheese
try to Get
sticks?
some of that Village.
Man, that's right. That's right here.
That's the good stuff.
That's top of the line. Look at that cheese.
Those are the best
Oh,
cheese sticks you can
man.
find, not only in the county, not only in the state, but I
Yes,
guarantee
sir.
you in this country.
Sure.
These cheese sticks and these pizzas from Village Pizza are immaculate.
Quality.
They're so good.
Delicious.
I'm actually gonna have me one too.
Oh,
So,
man, that cheese.
Out of all your jobs, what job do you say might bring you the most, I don't know, fun or fulfillment?
I think that goes again back to the. I worked at 2 paid jobs, but then I have a lot of jobs outside of that, and I call them jobs because it's something that I do.
And it requires some kind of.
But it does require some kind of effort, some
Yeah.
kind of commitment, some kind of just something there that I have to be cognizant of.
Right.
So I'm on the rescue squad here in the county. I'm also on the Cedar Creek Fire Department. I'm a deacon at New Life Christian Church. And then I'm also a Sunday school teacher there at New Life. So I'd say the most fulfilling thing that I get to do, it'd be a toss-up between being a deacon at the church, being able to help people there, and being on the rescue squad.
Yeah, those are very, I guess, self-fulfilling. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you know that you're just helping folks and you're not getting paid for it, but, like, I guess it's just a fulfillment, I guess.
Yeah. You know, I mean, you feel good about it, and you're doing a good deed.
Yeah. So, also, I guess I can say in the hardware store, you're helping people in there, too, and I guess on the phone. So, in all sense, you're just like someone who just helps everybody.
Pretty much.
The helpful guy. And then you got the Handy Mandy, and then Handy Mandy's father.
Yeah, yeah. This is my dad. Like we know nothing alike. You definitely couldn't tell
You
it.
definitely tell.
Definitely not. You
Yeah.
don't know this guy actually? Who's this guy?
No, I don't know. You just brought him on, to be honest
Oh,
with you.
okay.
He just found me on the roadside and said, "Hey, come be on a podcast."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but we're real grateful to have you, and I'm also grateful that with New Life, the way they kind of just like accepted me, like I was a lost little dog, like I showed up to the pound and they just put me in there, because I kind of just showed up and it was like instantly clicked. Now, you know, I go every Wednesday night. I haven't been the past few Sundays. I've just been sleeping in, I guess. It's my bad.
Well, I can tell you my story's very similar. There's not a soul in there knew me before I walked in the door.
Fair enough.
But they're very accepting, very loving place. And if you just commit, get yourself plugged in, you know, God will find you at work.
Yeah. And so you used to live in Memphis,
Born and raised.
born and raised. And how did you find yourself in Perry County?
My wife, the mama pig,
Yes.
is from Perry County. She was born and raised here. And after living in Memphis for 17 years, she decided it was time to come home.
Fair enough.
So here Big Poppy is, you know, packing up the U-Haul for her and doing everything else for her, and here we are.
Well, how about that? So, when you was in Memphis, what was like your job?
Tried real estate for a little while. That was right around 9/11, so it didn't really work out. Went to work shortly thereafter at Lowe's and spent 17 years there.
17 years at Lowe's. What'd you do in Lowe's?
Started out actually as in the parking lot, getting shopping carts,
Really.
loading people, just doing sweeping, blowing, whatever.
She started at the
Got
bottom
in
of
on the
food chain.
register, worked my way up from there. Became a department manager, and I've managed departments that grossed in sales of $10 million.
I'd do a lot to have that money, but that sounds real good, actually.
Well, I can tell you it wasn't mine.
Well, you know.
No, you just built it.
It was nice. It was nice to
So
see all that going on.
are there similarities to working at like from Lowe's to working at Ace?
There are similarities. A lot of the products the same.
I mean, obviously you don't have as big of a warehouse, probably. Because, I mean, that was Lowe's in Memphis. I can only imagine how big their warehouse was.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, you look at a small town hardware center versus a big city that has, you know, seven complete Lowe's stores within miles of each other.
Yeah.
And you're looking at you look at total sales, let's just say, and total sales for that Ace Hardware store this past year, I ran departments in Lowe's that in a year did nearly 4 times that.
Well, yeah, but also you got to put it to the side, the county, and then the big city.
Yeah. So there's a lot of similarities. There are a lot of differences too. But it's all good, man.
It's
You
really-
know, the Lowe's is like you said, they're miles apart. Like you can just drive down the road. Here's the other Lowe's. If that Lowe's don't have it, go check the other one. It's right down the road, and they're all huge. I mean, they're double the size of Ace, but Ace is it's a really nice store for where it is. You know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is. It's just right there in town, and
Yeah.
they have mostly everything. And if they don't, you can special order it, and it'll be there.
That's right.
Because, Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace is the place with Mr. Scott. Yep.
With
right.
Mr. Scott.
With Mr. Scott.
So, what days do you work at Ace?
I am there Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday and Friday.
So, when it comes to, your schedule and stuff, how do you really, manage your schedule since it's so crazy? You got to have family time, obviously, and you work at 3 different places, that are, I guess, technically a job title, and you're a deacon at the church, and you also do a Sunday school class, so I bet that's all kind of crazy.
It gets hectic. There's no doubt about it.
So what's your secret to managing it?
1 foot in front of the other.
1 foot in front of the other.
I know what time I have to get up to be at work on time. I know what time I need to leave one job, what I need to do between that to get to the other job on time. In the door, out the door. It's pretty much that simple. You just have to say, this is what time I have to do this is what time I have to do that. If you can do that, you'll be successful at it. I've been doing it nearly 3 years now. I can safely say I have not been late for work.
Fair enough. Now, there's not many times I've ever been late for work, but managing a lot of stuff really wasn't my strong suit.
No.
We kind of talked about it last week's episode. I was just all over the place. I was managing being in a relationship, school, work, and I was trying to stay in my friends' lives, which was very hard. And I knew they was very understanding of it, and that's why I got out of the relationship, come right back into the friend group, and realized I had a lot more fun with them than what I had on my little sabbatical when I was away from them. I was just glad, though, I could set him and Trenton up, so I just didn't disappear on both of them, and there was no... they didn't have nobody to fall back on.
Yeah.
Did they ever... I know you have to know about their hot fudge addiction.
Oh, yeah.
Every night, man, these two were in
Definitely.
Sonic.
Yeah, I'd come home and he'd be like, "Let me guess, you've been out doing them hot fudges again."
It's a real bad thing these days. He was strung out on them.
It was.
I was plumb strung out on him. My wallet was strung out on him too. But it was bad.
Yeah, I guess I kind of do. I guess I'm a little jealous because, that sounds pretty fun. Nah, I'm just kidding. Nah, actually, I'm jealous. But,
No, y'all was cute the other day at Sonic holding hands. And
yeah, in our
sitting
invisible car.
That was
In
good.
the invisible car.
I'm just glad we get y'all started and going. Because that would have been a sucky spot to get towed from.
Oh yeah.
Sonic.
Yeah. Randall Webster would have had fun with that one.
I thought it was funny, though, when that guy asked that cop if he could light a cigarette. He was sitting there in a beanie, rainbow beanie, leaned up, like he might have been experiencing life a little bit different than we are. And he walked up to that cop and said, "Hey, man, can you light my cigarette?" And he said, "Yeah." Went over there and lit it for him. Who knows if it was actually a cigarette, but
I'm not sure if it was. I really don't know.
I just thought that was pretty funny.
Cop's a good guy.
Yeah.
That was Rich, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's Rich.
Yeah,
He goes to
Rich.
New Life
He's a real cool guy. He just moved here not too long ago.
Where'd he move from?
from Florida.
From Florida. Was he a Florida cop? Or
He used to be.
so he was like Miami.
He got out of it for a little bit, and that's when he got back down here. That's what he decided he wanted to do again. It was just a right place, right time kind of thing.
Right.
He met me and Jackie, and he said he was thinking about going back into law enforcement. And I was like,
Hey, I
I
can
happen to
actually.
know a guy.
Yeah, that's real good. I'm happy for him. Yeah, they seem to be doing a pretty good job. Which those are my favorite time to meet the cops is when they're helping somebody instead
Oh,
of
definitely.
whenever they just come up and talk to me. Oh goodness. Which I've been pretty fortunate. Because obviously you drive a little faster. Everybody does. Everybody speeds a little bit. And I know where I can and where I can't. Where I can be stupid and where I can't be stupid. But this one night, I was running. And now my dad don't even know the story, so he will eventually.
will
Now when this
find
comes
out.
out.
He's gonna hear it now.
So I was coming home from Decaturville, and like I was running a little bit late on what time I needed to be back home. So I was running a bit fast. Here's me, here's a state trooper, go right by each other. I see the lights turn on, and I was like, there's really nothing I can do. So I just slowed down, pulled over. He come up to my window, and he asked me to, license, registration, all that. So I was giving him my stuff, but the bad thing was my wallet was in my truck. I just didn't know where it was at the time because I'd been to Sonic that night. When I go to Sonic, I never put my wallet back in my back pocket. I set it down. So it was somewhere in my truck. And I asked him, I said, well, mister, I have it in here. I just don't know where it is. So can I get out and look for it? And he was like, yeah, sure. I said, so I can get out without you shooting me, right? And he laughed a little bit. And so I stepped out. I went around to go find my wallet. He's shining this flashlight. I finally found it. I give it to him. I was sitting there in the car. I called my mom. I told her, I was like, yeah, I got pulled over. And she's like, okay, just let me know what happens. He comes back to the window with my stuff, and he didn't hand me a ticket. And I said, is that all? He just handed me my stuff back. And, he said, yeah, just maybe slow it down a little bit. And he was like, are these aftermarket tires and wheels? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, that'll throw off your cruise, and winked at me. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then he shined his flashlight in my face before he left, and he said, you been out drinking tonight? I said, no, sir. He said, you been out smoking? I said, no, sir. He said, been shooting crack? I said, no, sir. And then he was off and on his way. I guess if you joke with him, he was a younger guy, though. I thanked him and shook his hand. I said, I hope I never see you again, obviously.
Hope I never see you again.
But,
I will say, if you get pulled over,
I mean, I knew I was in the wrong, so of course I'm just going to comply.
well, a lot of people don't. A lot of people want to get aggravated or agitated or whatever.
That just makes it worse for them. I mean,
It
Yeah.
does. It just makes it worse for them. I mean, if an officer pulls you over, see what they want. 9 times out of 10, just cut up with them, joke with them, be nice to them. When you work a job where you're going to aggravate 85% of the people you deal with,
Yeah.
you're always going to be on edge. So if people just remember that the officer's not there to pick on you. He's just there to make sure everybody's being safe, doing his job. If we just all remember that and just treat each other with respect, at the end of the day, a lot less people are going to have a bad day.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the only time I've ever been pulled over by a state trooper or just a regular cop. And there was this one time, never mind. But
Let's not telling ourselves.
so you get the
this is the dispatcher right here.
yeah, you do get the calls on stuff whenever there's
Oh yeah.
something that goes wrong, whether it's just all county, even if it's in Louisville too. You get all those
Oh, yeah.
calls.
We
So
take all of Perry County.
He's like kind of the first person to get a hold of, like the first responder almost.
Yeah.
He is the first responder.
So, what might be the weirdest or craziest dispatch story or like phone call you've ever had? Obviously, I know you can't mention names, so if you
No.
could just
I mean, there's, when you start talking about crazy calls, you
Yeah.
start talking about weird calls, there's the chance that some are going to be, really funny.
yeah,
Some will be head scratching. Some are going to be those calls, that type of call, and every dispatcher gets them. It's that type of call that just sits with you forever.
You know what?
So when I start talking about crazy, I have a lot of calls that come back to mind. So let me lead you down Sad Road first, and then we'll bring you back down Crazy Road, and we'll see how it goes from there.
all right,
So Sad Road, this is probably, I'm not going to say it's the worst call I've ever taken, but it's the one call that to this day I still reminisce that call. I've had a lot of bad calls. I've had a lot of calls from being on the rescue squad that I know what's going on. I can see it in my head. It's not good. It's a bad ordeal.
yeah,
But this call was a woman who woke up early morning. her husband was laying next to her in bed and had passed during the night. And I stayed on the phone with her just to make sure there was somebody there besides her, somebody listening, somebody responding, as she cried her eyes out, begging her husband to wake back up. And it's easy for me to sit here and say reality, reality, reality. Because my reality is he ain't coming back. He's gone. He's been gone for a while. He's cold. He's stiff. I hate it, but it's just a natural fact of life.
Yeah.
But listening to that, hearing that voice, that was years ago, probably 2 years ago now, and it still to this day sticks with me, and I still hear it. But then you have your crazy calls that help to balance it out. So I get a call one day from a lady, and it comes in on a 911 line, and she is freaking out. And I'm like, oh my Lord, what is going on here? And she's just screaming, yelling. I hear dogs barking, and I'm like, something's bad going on here. And she's like, get the fire department down here. And I'm like, okay, man, what's going on? Hey, there's a cat stuck in this tree.
Oh, my gosh.
And you know, that's the joke that you hear about dispatch. There's a cat in the tree. There's a cat in the tree. Well, this was a real cat in the tree call. And this cat had crawled up on this tree, and the tree was overhanging a dog pen.
Oh, no.
And she's like, if that cat falls in there, that those dogs are going to eat it alive. I'm like, I don't want my responders getting bit.
Oh, no.
I don't want them getting eaten alive.
So
it was,
did the fire department go out there and get the cat?
the fire department called me afterwards and was like, hey, it was a touch and go there for just a second. We didn't know. The dogs really didn't want us to get too close to the pen. And I didn't know if I was going to take the water hose and blow it out of the tree or what. I was like, okay, well.
I just like that image in my head. You look
Yeah.
up in the sky and there's a cat being beamed across the across town.
200 PSI hose one.
God,
Yeah.
cat.
Cat's flying.
Well, with my luck, if I was the one doing that, the cat would fly into another tree and above another dog pen. And,
Exactly. There'd be just an endless line of dog pens.
yeah. Oh my gosh! I remember you mentioned something about a hay bale in the road.
Oh,
Oh, Lord have mercy.
well, we're going back to Miss Sue now on that one. And Andrew knows Miss Sue. She is the woman, the myth, the legend, the
That's right.
legendary Sue Franks.
Sue Franks. She is an
You
absolute.
ought to get Miss Sue to be a guest on here one day.
We're trying to keep this podcast family friendly now. Okay, calm down. Miss
Miss
Sue.
Sue is family.
She is family, but she can be
This
not so
was,
friendly.
She's family and friendly, right?
Yes, you bet your life she is.
I love her to death.
She's awesome. You would have such a good time with her.
She is. She is awesome.
Miss Sue is retired, but this was one of these calls that I wasn't there for it, but we talked about it for months afterwards because it was just that funny.
Yeah.
It was one of the deputies, who is a current deputy, radioing into Miss Sue and going, "There's a hay bale in the road here, right out here in front of Subway." And she swears up and down, he said, "There's a female in the road out here in front of Subway." And she was going, "Well, what's she wearing?" And she's asking questions, and the officer, I'm sure, is just scratching his head. And he finally went, "It's a hay bale." And she went, "Oh, bleep." And I won't use the language that she used.
No, we don't use that language. Gosh.
So
Yeah.
there was a woman in the street.
She
No,
does.
there was a woman.
At least she was concerned on what she was wearing.
Yeah.
Yes, because I'm telling you, I've had a call down here between Linden and Lowville, a guy walking down the road with his walker. And one of them walkers going down the road, and he wasn't wearing no pants.
Oh.
All he had on was a white tank top. That was it. So the officer, see, these are some of the calls we get. Fortunately, I had a deputy very
Oh,
close
man.
who was able to go get him and get him back to his house.
Get him some pants on.
I hope they found some pants, but if they didn't, as long as he was back home, he was safe.
How far away was he from his house?
He was not that far. they could still see his house from where he was, but he had gotten out of his house and walked down to the end of the road and turned onto the highway and was headed toward Linden.
He was fixing to walk
Hey, man, he
his
was
way.
just hitting town.
That's right.
Man, we shouldn't let Trenton out.
Hey, y'all got to do what y'all got to do.
Yeah, we gotta do something about Trenton.
That's where he's at
He
tonight.
keeps getting
actually.
out.
That's where he's at tonight, just a different town.
Yeah.
Right. Hopefully he's got pants on.
Oh, guys.
Oh Lord. I hope so. They're in a room with a bunch of other FFA officers
Oh, Lord.
from all over the
Let's
county.
hope he's got pants
He's
on.
got pants on. He's got them. He's got them.
If not, that might be an issue for Miss Cindy to cover.
We won't cover that in the next podcast.
Oh God. Trenton's story on going to jail. Public indecency, no pants.
Oh, man.
Gets locked up.
Had a walker for some reason.
Hey. As long as he knew where he was going.
Oh my
Did he
gosh.
tell the officer where he was going?
Yeah, he said he was headed into town. He's going to Food Giant.
Wow.
Now, I don't remember a sign in front of Food Giant saying no pants, no shoes, no shirt, no service.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that sign either, so I guess
either.
we got to test these things out. That's why we are here.
He was
Yeah.
trying. He was trying.
He was, he was, man, they should have just let it go. I want to know now what would have happened if he walked in
That's
there.
just, I want to know. I need to know what happens.
Yeah,
Oh, gosh.
should have given him a lift.
Oh, gosh. So obviously, when you join like dispatch or whatever, you just join the sheriff's department in general. You got, you got tased and pepper sprayed, didn't you?
Part of the training.
How was it?
You know, the tasing wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I probably feared it more than I did anything. As I've talked to people who have been tased, they said it was horrible. I didn't think it was that bad.
I mean,
I got doubled. So
Yeah, you got-
basically, they use this training as a training on how to administer a taser one, but then how to do other things with the taser.
Yeah.
So with the tasers that the sheriff's department uses, they have cartridges in them. You can literally tase up to 3 people at one time. Yeah.
and you got doubled.
If they tell you to stop, you better stop.
Well, you was that. Yeah, I watched the video. This guy's not moving. He's actually held. 2 guys are holding him, and he's not going anywhere. But they just decided, oh, we're gonna get him twice, just because I really don't like this guy. Apparently, I guess. So
Well,
that-
what they decided to do with me when they did the training was, and I was the last one to go, and they did it on purpose. But I was the last one to go, and he said, "What I'm going to show y'all now is if someone's being compliant but not compliant." So he said, "Go ahead and lay down on the ground." So I was down on the ground. He said, "Tuck your arms in under you, and don't let me pull them out." So he said, "So this is the situation. You've got the situation in control," because he's talking to the class. He says, "But your person on the ground here is not being compliant so that you can cuff them and take full control of the situation." So he got down on the ground and was trying to pull my arms out, and I wouldn't let him. And he stood back up, and during that training, they say taser, taser, taser is part of the. They tase you.
Now, do they say that when they're out on call and they're about to tase somebody?
oh no,
I would think not.
Like if somebody's running away and they're like, "I'm about to tase you."
they may they may say,
They may say, halt or I'll fire the taser or something like that. But
So how did that feel when you got shot? What was like the feeling going through your body? You just tense up.
he shot me in the leg.
Mm.
So my leg was immediately yes. I mean, even through the jeans, the barb went through the jeans into the skin, and my leg felt like it was just a bad cramp.
Oh,
And it hit he held it for 5 seconds. And then on top of that, he came down with the gun in my back. With the stun gun into my back.
ooh.
That burned. I don't know what it was supposed to do. I had full control of my arms, my head. I mean, I was moving around, got my arms out. But the point of that was to affect 2 different muscle groups. You get the leg, you get the muscles in the back, and then from there, that subject should want to comply because they're supposed to be in an immense amount of pain.
If not, you're doing like He-Man.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. So the taser part wasn't that bad. I would do that again if they said you have to do this again. I would do it again.
Now the pepper spray.
Pepper spray was horrible. That
How bad?
lasted for hours.
So what do? How does that happen?
Well, they stand you up. We have to be outside
Right.
because the spray that the officers use is different than the spray that they use in the jail. The spray that the officers use gets airborne too. So it affects not only your face, but your lungs and everything.
Oh.
It's horrible stuff. But when they spray, officers are trained to spray in a Z pattern. To start here, spray, down, back across. That gets the most coverage. And when I say it's going to affect everything up here. It's horrible. At that point, we had to open our eyes, give a verbal command over the radio, which we at that point were requesting backup. Immediately, the pepper spray gets into your eyes, and your eyes are wanting to clamp shut because it burns like fire.
How do you allow yourself to even keep your eyes open? If I knew that was
couldn't.
coming, my eyes would be.
Well, he tells you to close your eyes.
Oh.
He sprays, and you have to open your eyes.
Immediately, just.
Immediately, as soon as I opened my eyes, a drop dropped into my right eye, and I couldn't keep it open for nothing.
Oh.
Like, I'm trying to open it, it's clamping back shut. I give my verbal command, and at that point, you have what you call a battle buddy. So the deputy who just sprayed you grabs one arm, your battle buddy grabs the other arm, and they lead you down the walkway to the other guy who's standing there waiting to spray your face with a water hose. Because you got to wash it off fast.
Yeah.
And even though we wash it off fast, and then they put us in the front seat of one of their trucks with their air conditioning going full blast. And you have to sit there in front of the AC, holding your eyes open and letting the air blow into your eyes. And that's the only way to counter it.
And it took hours for it to get away.
Yeah, and it was like 11:35 when we got done with that, and I was one of the last ones to go again there. And I had to be at work at 12.
Oh. What
Yeah.
what job do you have to go work at?
I had to go to dispatch.
Oh gosh.
So you're looking at those screens and your eyes
Oh,
are
it was
like,
horrible.
oh.
So
Oh,
I was a half mile down the street. You know, sheriff's department's here, dispatch is here, half mile away.
Yep.
So I walked into, I literally drove to dispatch like this with my eyes open, blowing air into my eyes. And I mean, snot's just going everywhere. You're drooling all over the place. Your eyes are watering so bad, you can't see. So I don't know how. I still don't know how I made it to dispatch and parked in a parking spot. And I got into dispatch, and I have a fan that I keep there, and I sat it on the desk in front of me and just turned it all the way up and just sat there.
I like to imagine you're on the phone with somebody when they call. They're like, "What's that loud noise?" It's just the fan on
It's
my
my
glass.
eyeballs not melting, thank you.
I'm sorry, I can't see what you're saying.
Yeah, well, to a point, you're right. But then, everything subsides, and you think you're good until you break a sweat. Because I hadn't been home to take a shower yet.
Yeah,
So it's still,
it's still just
I've
on.
washed, and I've scrubbed my forehead, and I've scrubbed my eyebrows, and I've scrubbed my face as
But it's
best
still
I can.
embedded in the skin. Your skin. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Can only
When
imagine.
I'm in dispatch, and I'm going on a call, and I break a sweat, and all of a sudden my eyes start stinging again, and I'm like, oh no. Fan back on.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I mean, coming home, taking a shower, oof, that was horrible.
I could really. Oh god.
I'm not doing that. That's
Yeah, I mean,
sorry.
it's if you're gonna, the sheriff's department requires it if you're going to carry pepper spray.
So
then
do you have pepper
to be.
spray?
I decided then and there that I really didn't want to carry pepper spray
You know, fair.
because I really wouldn't want to put someone through that. I would have no qualms tasing somebody.
Yeah.
It's not that big a deal.
So do they give you one of the tasers that they got?
Yes.
So like you can shoot the prongs. It's not just one of those. You just run up and.
Yeah, definitely have the prongs.
Because I've been tased by one of them little. I guess you hold the button down, it
Yeah.
shocks. You put your finger up to it or whatever, and yeah, it feels like a burn.
Yeah.
It's not like a shock. It's just like something really hot has just been pressed on you.
Were you there when Trenton got me right here?
Maybe not. I don't believe so.
Man, it was like a line, like a white line, and I was like, "What is that? What is that doing there?" But,
Oh yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his little flashlight taser.
yeah,
I forgot all about that.
fooled me with that one.
Yeah, he tried to get me with that one day, and
He said, "Yeah, it's a flashlight. Check out my new flashlight." And then he said, "Wing!" And I was like, "Ah!"
I was too quick for him. He started coming at me, and I was like, "Please stop. I'm not." Like, if somebody just says, "Hey, you want to get tased?" Yeah, sure. But if
Yeah,
somebody
that's
tries to tase me out of nowhere,
Nope.
I ain't gonna let it happen.
Nope.
It's either getting slapped out of their hand, or they're getting slapped silly.
Or both. I mean,
Or
Or both.
it
Or both.
depends on how much they shock me, because it could be or both. Or I'll probably rip it out of their hands and tase them. But yeah, I can only imagine getting shot with the prongs. Ugh.
It wasn't that bad. You don't. The prongs are razor sharp.
When they
You
shoot
don't
out, does
feel
it
them
shoot out
go
like
in?
confetti?
No. No, they have lead wires,
Yeah.
and those wires trail out behind them. But outside of that,
So what if somebody
you
like
hear-
put their
you
hand on
hear a
that wire?
pop.
Yeah.
That's
What if
it.
somebody put their hand on it while their electricity's running through it on the wire? Will it run to them instead of
Yeah.
going to the person?
It'll do both.
Oh,
'Cause it's still a completed circuit.
yeah. It's just adding a component.
Yeah, the prongs are what makes the. You hold a prong, and the other prong is just dangling there. You're still going to feel some electrical pulse, but nothing like if you had a hold of both of them.
Yeah. I knew this boy. He was he got in a fight. No, it wasn't really a fight. He kind of got jumped almost. But they tased the boy that was hitting him whenever they showed up. The cops did. They tased the boy that was getting jumped, and then they tased the boy that was hitting him, and they missed him with one prong, and it went into the other boy. So he had 3 prongs in him, and he was laying out just getting absolutely shocked. At that point, I was already gone, but I watched that happen. It did not look pleasant, to be honest with you. I'm glad I got out of there.
No, it wasn't pleasant. Definitely wasn't riding a rainbow, but it was not as bad as the pepper spray. That's for sure.
Oh, goodness.
I
Yeah.
got a video. I'll have to show you sometime.
Yeah.
you know, I really thought that I mean, I knew the pepper spray would be pretty bad, but I thought for sure tasers got to be worse.
No.
Pepper spray outdoes it
Yeah.
like 100
Oh,
times
yeah.
over. Man,
You got to think. You take
I can
away
tell
your
you right
eyes.
now,
So.
if I was to act a fool and a deputy was to stand there with a taser, I'd go, bring it. If another one was to stand there with a pepper spray, I'd go, I'm done. I'm out. Pull my shirt up over my head. I ain't doing this.
Just curl up on the ground.
Yeah,
Arrest
no,
me.
I ain't messing with it.
Give me your cuffs.
Yeah, I'll cuff myself. Give them here. That ain't happening. The taser? Nah. That ain't bothering me.
What? What was that one guy in Lowell? His name was like Redbone or something.
Mm-hmm.
What was that call about?
I don't know. I didn't work that night. And, I mean, I know the 2 deputies that went to it. And I know there was a video put out about it. And taser is what actually ended that altercation. The video was very rough to watch. Because one of the deputies, obviously we work with one of those deputies at ACE. And then the other one lives down the street from us. And I consider both of them to be good friends. So it was a little tough to watch that. I don't think the guy really meant them any harm. I don't think it would have come to anything further than what it went to.
Yeah.
But to know that a deputy was to the point where he felt threatened enough to pull his weapon. I'm not saying the taser is a weapon, but it's a non-lethal weapon.
Yeah.
But for one deputy to have his sidearm pulled, that's pretty rough to watch that.
Yeah. I remember there was that one video going around. They were saying that Charlie Jones was like overly forceful with this one guy, but then the sheriff's department just released his cam, and it shows you that he wasn't, and the guy was just being I don't know how to say it, just like
He wasn't being very nice.
he was not being nice about it.
he was being a poop head.
Definitely. And I'll tell you, just from working with Charlie, for the past 3 years. Charlie's a professional.
Oh, he is. And he's
he
a great
treats
guy.
people very good. You know, that guy had obviously done something wrong, and Charlie was calling him on it, as he's supposed to. And Charlie was dead on respectful to the guy. The guy was not back. But Charlie kept his cool. He did exactly what he needed to do. So I have nothing but the utmost respect for Charlie.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's raised two real good sons. Jackson's incredible. He also makes them. This is what I've heard: is Jackson has to run like a set amount of like a mile or so every morning, and work out every morning. Charlie makes him. But I'm sure if he actually went and played for something in college, I'm sure he'd be real good. I don't know if he just went and been a cop. I think he'd get to the academy like nothing.
Man, Jackson and Charlie, you know, Charlie makes them boys work, but he knows them boys are going places.
Yeah.
And
No, they
will.
really are.
They really will. He's not. I mean, he's a good athletic player, but he's smart too.
Yeah,
I mean,
he is very smart. What is it, straight A's?
yeah, straight A's. He don't
Yeah,
miss.
He's real smart. I'm sure he was at school today.
He was.
Yeah. But do you ever like with the dispatch? Is there like a certain time that calls just get a little strange? Like, is there just like a recurrent, like after a certain hour, say like after 12, like the late night, early morning calls? Are those any weirder than some of the ones you've got?
Not really.
Fair.
You start talking about people are just being people. You know, sometimes there's extracurricular things involved. You got to imagine a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol gets involved.
Yeah.
That just happens. It don't care what time of the day it is. It don't, you know, it just happens.
It just happens. So, if you get a call for rescue squad while you're at dispatch, do you have to leave dispatch?
No, he's just the guy that calls it out.
I'm the guy that calls it out. Yes, I do want to leave.
Yeah.
I do want to respond with my fellow responders. But what I had to learn pretty quickly is I need to allow the other people who are doing the same training that I'm doing to go and do what they've been trained to do. My job at that moment is to complete the call, to get them the information they're needing, whatever the case may be. You know, they may need something else, and they're not going to holler at the sheriff's department. They're going to holler at me to holler at the sheriff's department. They're going to holler at me to holler at EMS. They're going to get me to get a helicopter, whatever the case may be. So that's my role at that time.
So those two really just play back and forth.
Yeah.
So with like fires and stuff, like every time, like maybe not every time, but when they're mostly the time when there's fires, do you have to tell the rescue squad to go out too with the fire department?
Just depends on what the area is and what type of call it is. Structure fires we send to, always. Because you're going to need a lot of water to be able to fight a structure fire. If it's in the coverage area where rescue is in that area, we'll send them. If not, we send whoever's in that area.
Yeah, it's split up into like 5, 6 different departments. Ain't it?
It's 7 what we call ESNs. It's a coverage area for a fire department. And there's 7 fire departments technically in the county. Rescue being one of them.
It's like Rescue, Linden, Lowell. That's the main ones.
You got Pineview, Lobeville, Linden, Rescue, Cedar Creek, Flatwoods, and Pope.
Yep.
So which one are y'all technically a part of?
I'm a part of Rescue and Cedar Creek.
Cedar Creek.
Andrew's a part of Cedar
I'm on Cedar Creek. Yeah, that's where I'm
So
at.
say I join, since I live really close to dispatch, would I technically be in that area?
Your coverage area would consist of Rescue. If we were to walk outside here right now and there's a fire in the yard, we'd call Rescue. We'd call dispatch would send Rescue.
Yeah.
And I always encourage people, you know, especially as you're now 18 years of age, I encourage you to look into those things, because that's just part of community involvement. It's part of being something that's bigger than just yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and I know we all strive to be more every day, and part of that is, you know, you may want to join the rescue squad. Rescue's busy. They get a good amount of calls every year. But we also do stuff like the tractor pull.
Yep.
We've got the Lobeville and the Linden parades coming up, which we do traffic control and things for. But we get, as far as rescue is concerned, we get everything. If the county needs anything, the rescue squad's who they're going to call.
Yeah.
We're trained to handle water rescues, we're trained to handle wrecks, we're trained to handle fire, we're trained to handle it all. There's even times when we'll go out with EMS, help them load somebody up, and then we'll go set up a landing zone for a helicopter. And
Now,
that's
what's
all
that
trained.
consist of? Setting up a landing zone.
It depends on what resources are available. Technically, you can do it with 2 vehicles. And basically, you would set up headlights at a point, and that's where the helicopter would try to land. In my truck, I carry puck lights, and those can set up pretty easy to set up a square zone for a helicopter to land in. They work a lot better at night, obviously,
Right.
but they still shine out pretty good during the day. And we have some of those in the rescue vehicles as well.
Yeah. Y'all obviously probably have like set destinations that you know a helicopter can land in the county.
Yeah, but
So there's
they will not hesitate to land one in the middle of a roadway if they have to.
there's set zones everywhere. Those little, you ever seen those little orange like balls on lines?
Yeah.
That's what that's for.
They're not basketballs.
They're not basketball. I thought they were basketballs for a
Definitely
long
not
time.
basketballs.
I thought they were for a long time.
So you can't climb up on the light pole and pull it off?
I mean, you can, just don't tell me about it.
Is that like a marker to where they can land so they know?
Helicopters
Like
want to stay as far away from power lines and trees as possible.
oh yeah, I can imagine that. I mean,
Yeah, you don't need a helicopter for the helicopter. You don't want to need that.
no.
Yeah, that would definitely not be ideal calling in a helicopter for a helicopter.
We have several areas. We call them PILA sites, landing zone sites, LZs. They're designated areas in the county where the aircraft companies, Air Evac, has flown over and has said this would be a safe place for us to put down. Obviously, the big one is out here at the hospital. It's actually a helipad, and that was put there as that was the hospital. But we land them there quite a bit. Then just throughout the county, there's just other areas that are safe areas. But we've had to land them in the street. We've had to literally go block traffic and land a helicopter in the street to pick somebody up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bad day.
Yeah.
Bad day for somebody.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, that's not good at all. But speaking of not good, so, you know, obviously rescue squad, you see some pretty bad stuff, pretty nasty stuff. What was like probably the most traumatizing thing you've seen?
It's never fun handling dead bodies.
Yeah,
No.
I can imagine.
We have to do that. But I'd say the worst one was probably that one that we pulled out when we were down there at Camp Linden.
Yeah,
That guy who had rolled his tractor.
I was there for that one.
Yep, we went down. They got the guy off the shoreline with the boat. They brought him back over there in a body bag, and when we picked up the body bag just folded in half.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't do that.
Coincidentally, it was David Young who found it, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
It was David Young.
I was actually down there that day working at camp, and I seen David on a river walk, and I was like, you know, it's good to see you. I said, you're just the kind of guy that I just wish I didn't have to see. Like, I like David Young. He's a real good guy.
He is a good guy.
But I just hate to see him.
Yeah.
Because every time you see him, it's somebody's lost their life, you know? And seeing him that day down at where I worked, I was like, what is that?
There's been, there's a good chance with rescue that we're going to get out there, especially in a car wreck. We're going to tear a car apart. We're going to get the person out. There's a really good chance that at the end of the day, we're going to make something better. And that's great. Yeah, this person's been in a traumatizing wreck. If they're injured, they're stuck, whatever the case may be. But we have the tools, we have the know-how, and we have the determination to get them out of that vehicle.
Yeah.
Get them with the ambulance team and let the paramedics do what they do best. There's cases and points where we just have to pull people up. The Buffalo River is not a joke. For anybody who thinks it is, it's not a joke. That is a dangerous river. People need to take care when they're in that river. We've pulled several bodies up out of that river.
Yeah.
People who get hung on trot lines that get left. That's one of the big ones. I can tell you, I've personally pulled 3 bodies up out of the water. And it's very strange to watch a body come up out of the water at you. And to know that person ain't with us.
Yeah. Yeah, the Buffalo River is real swift.
It is swift.
It's swift and people don't even really think about that. But
No, they don't.
you put a Tennessee River boat out on the Buffalo, it ain't going up the stream.
Mm-mm.
You just can't.
Yeah, old Grandpappy's John boat ain't going up that.
Yeah, Grandpappy's John boat sink. Ain't gonna make it.
No, it ain't gonna make it. But, that leads to a lot of calls for dispatch.
Yeah.
We're gonna need rescue out here.
Grandpappy's John boat done got stuck.
So what kind of motors they got on them boats? If they're able to just probably blow up and down the river.
We've actually got a brand new boat. It's a Hoss. It's got a 60 horse on it. That thing, it's got skid plates on it.
It's got a jet drive down it. It's not a propeller.
Oh yeah, it's a jet drive.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was enough to handle that it was dangerous to handle,
Yeah.
wide open. So we actually took that thing and took it and got a steering column mounted on it and fixed it up. So now it's a lot safer for us to operate, but we can still handle that big motor. Beautiful boat. Beautiful, beautiful boat.
Well, kind of moving off of their work life and getting a little more on your personal life. You know, you've raised this kid, right?
Unfortunately, he has, yeah.
So,
That's been a rough road right there.
how was it? How was raising Andrew Finn?
How was raising Andrew?
Brutally honest, Dad. We want brutal.
Oh yeah, this is the Perry County Podcast. Don't lie.
Can't lie on the Perry County
Can't lie.
podcast.
Can't lie to those lovely folks right there.
That's right.
Hey, folks. Raising Andrew. You know, they always say that girls are harder than boys. I would say to an extent, yes. I thought Andrew was pretty chill as a baby. I really
As a
thought he
baby.
was.
There's the kid. As a baby. That's what he said.
As a
Well,
baby.
you know, at some point, we all grow up. We all develop our own minds. We all develop our own quirks and things that make us us.
And unfortunately, he turned into what he is.
Yeah. Mine just happened to be, yo, cowboy, let's go.
But that's okay. You know, he's got a mix of his grandmother and his mother, and he's got a mix of a lot of good people. We just got to focus that energy in the right direction, and he's good to go.
Yeah, I hear he tried to like flash style go through a door.
Well.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
It didn't work too well.
No.
So you stuck your hand through a screen door through the glass.
Yeah, I sure did.
Can only imagine how.
Interestingly enough, the glass fell out of there was in the shape of a baseball helmet.
It was. A baseball helmet like a bat. Like hanging back. It's crazy. Crazy. Not making this up. True story.
Dead true
Seriously.
story.
So did you smash it with a helmet or?
No.
He smashed it with his arm.
I went like this, and it said, whoosh, and I was like, uh-oh, that's not supposed to happen.
No, that red stuff ain't supposed to be there.
How old were you?
I was, 7th grade, 8th grade?
Yeah, I mean, we were here.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
Gosh,
7th grade?
We had just moved here pretty much.
he was just testing things out.
Well, we got these 2 German Shepherds. We had these 2 German Shepherds at the time. They're still puppies.
Lola and Lucy.
Yeah, Lola and Lucy, I mean, just beautiful dogs. They just didn't listen worth a crap. So here I am banging on
German
the,
Shepherds.
I was banging on the metal at first, and then I wasn't paying any attention because I'm mad at this dog. This dog is out in the middle of the highway, And she's sitting there going, I ain't doing nothing wrong. And I'm going, come here, dog, come here, dog. And I'm banging on the door. I missed the metal. I hit the glass. Went right through.
Yep, when you hit the glass, bad thing happens.
Bad thing did happen. There was ketchup all over my arm. It was quite weird.
Yeah, who put that there? Who put that ketchup in
Right,
that
really?
glass?
I don't know. It wasn't the dog. She was in the highway. I
It
mean,
wasn't the dog. It definitely wasn't the dog.
Which is awful. Now, luckily, I mean, I am accident prone. But luckily, like, I haven't really got hurt as bad as you'd think I would. My brother was really the one to get cut and just have to go to the doctor and get stitched up or have to go get fixed up. I'm more of the never got hurt but did crazy stuff. Like when I was real little, we lived in a trailer and we had one of them windows and the window was up and the screen was there. You know, I'm like 2, I just learned how to walk. Ran right out, hit the screen, flipped out of the window, landed on all fours on the screen. My mom freaked out because she was cleaning the house and I just ran through there and did that. I about
I can see that too.
I about hung myself on the blinds in my bedroom because I was swinging back and forth from bed to bed like Indiana Jones, from my bed to my brother's bed. And, yeah, apparently I wrapped it around my neck and I jumped. And, yeah, I was hanging there. And my mom heard me just, you know, choking out. Like, so she ran in there. Luckily, my toes were barely on one of them Warship, like, play sets. And my toes were on it. And so, like,
That's what was keeping you up.
that, yeah.
Andrew has not done anything like that.
no, I just got
also,
dropped on my head when I was a child. That's just,
when I was
Yeah, your sister may have done that.
when I was younger, I had the room on the end, so the hitch is right there. The trailer hitch is right there, and the window's open, and I'm laying there.
He's bad luck with
I
windows, don't
stuck
you?
my head. Yeah, really. I stuck my head out of it. You know, I was a curious kid. Here goes my front half. My legs caught me. I'm dangling above the hitch. I'm like thinking in my head, you know, I'm a little kid. I'm like, I'm about to die. This is it. And my mom come in there and saved me from that one too.
you know, it seems to me your mom is a key part in this.
Yeah, it's a good thing that she worked at home.
Yeah.
Well, she was at home during the day and Dad was at work, and then she went to work at night. And whenever Dad was home, good thing they had eyes on me.
At all points in time.
Yeah.
I mean, and now it's not anything crazy. Like, oh yeah, I almost died. It's, yeah, I broke my foot playing dodgeball, or. No, there was I jumped off a
I
balcony.
do remember that.
yeah. I still don't know how exactly that happened.
So I took my shoes off, so whenever I jumped, I landed on my socks and didn't land right. My feet
Ugh,
slid,
Yeah.
and then my foot. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. They told me to wear that boot for like 3 weeks. It made it maybe 1 week, and I just put a Hey Dude on that foot and wore my work boots on the other and went to work. Because, I mean, who am I?
Dudes, that's what did it, though.
That's it.
I just slipped one of them Hey Dudes on and wore a work boot on the other foot.
And people was like, that's just normal.
Yeah, they're probably like, oh, there's Connor. There he is.
Yeah, people kept saying stuff, and I was like, my foot's broke. Yeah, sure, buddy. I'm sure that's what.
Yes, you're right.
But, yeah, it did suck because it was my driving foot. So I was learning to drive with that boot for a little while was
Ugh.
interesting.
Driving with a boot was horrible.
Because I would either floor it or I'd slam on the brakes.
Yeah. So I didn't do that. I was driving a little Colorado when I had to wear a boot on my right foot.
Mm.
And I would just throw that boot over the side and I'd drive with my left foot. You talk about a learning curve. You try driving in Memphis on an 8-lane expressway
Oh,
with your left foot sitting like this. I'm sitting sideways, staring out the. Everybody who's passing me is going,
man, that's Memphis. That's the least of their worries when they just see a guy driving
Yeah,
sideways.
now they drive on the hood. I mean,
Yeah, man, they do.
you
all
ride down the
kinds
highway on the hood of cars. Hey, it's all good.
all kinds of crazy things you see in Memphis.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's a nice place to be from, as your papa likes to say.
Uh-huh. From Memphis. Don't want to go back to Memphis. From there.
It's nice to visit every once in a while.
So,
yeah, occasionally.
so you met your wife, his mom, Mama Pig, as I call her, in Memphis while you was.
Ooh,
Where'd you meet her?
We actually met online.
What website, if you don't mind?
It was actually not a website. Before there was a website, there were programs. This program was called MIRC. It was basically chat rooms. If you got into that chat room, you could chat with the other people in there.
So I
There
just
was no
imagine.
pictures, no faces.
Is it like
It was a DOS program.
a bunch of people?
There were, probably 40 in the room we were in.
So I just could you see him like get in the chat room? Then he gets in there and he's like, "What's up, fellow white people?" Like that's what he be doing.
Hey, we used to cut up in there. I broke my leg. Was doing homeschool at the time. Slid on some ice
Oh
and
yeah.
popped a chunk of my leg out.
Mm.
So I was down for,
So how old were you?
I was 15. I mean, I have bad knees. Always have. But that specific day, when it buckled, the kneecap pushed the cartilage. And when it pushed it, actually, instead of ripping through the cartilage, it pulled a chunk of the bone off.
You know, there's just some things that are just unfortunate, and that sounds like one of them.
Yeah, that really does.
That was a bad day. That was
It sounds like it sucked.
I got up and two, one on each side, and we hobbled to the back of the dude's truck, and his mom come out and drove me, 4 houses down to the back to the house, and my leg was just. I mean, it took 3 days. Got in to get an X-ray, and like, oh yeah, that thing's toast.
Mm.
But that's gonna need surgery.
So because you were laid up on the couch or wherever you were laid up, you got on that program?
Yep. Was working with that and having fun there, talking to people and doing schoolwork and whatnot. And that's actually where I met Mama Pig.
What, like how old were you when you met her?
Technically 16
What about that?
when we started talking.
When did you meet her in person for the first time?
It wasn't too long after that. She was going to school at UT Martin. So yes, she is a little bit older than I am. Not by much, but a little bit. And
Ooh, you're
I
sleeping
took
on the
a-
couch tonight, pal. You just go there old.
So, you're what they call a cougar hunter. Hey, it's
call me a
cool.
hunter.
Cougar hunter.
I am too.
So I went, got on a Greyhound bus and road traveled down to Martin, Tennessee, or up to Martin, Tennessee. And that was, we hung out for a while and I hit the road and headed back.
So, y'all been together for how many years?
We have been together since 97.
No, married, I mean.
Married will be 23 years in March.
23 years in March. So almost 23 years in marriage, and you're still married. How you doing it? What's your secret?
Ooh, yes, let's hear it.
Well, this secret is no secret, honestly. And I've told this to every guy whose wedding I've ever been to. Every guy who's ever said, hey, I'm getting married, this was my advice to them. Remember and constantly use 2 words.
Can I have a crack at it? Can I take a
A lot
guess?
of people are going to say, no, it's 3 words, I love you.
Can I take a
That's
guess
it.
at what those 2 words are? Are they yes, dear?
Ah,
You know it.
bingo.
Can we hear a classic Pig Poppy yes, dear?
Yes, dear.
Okay, pretend I'm.
Yes,
So
dear.
I'm mom.
Yes, dear.
I'm mom, right?
Yes, dear.
She's working back here, and you come in, and I go, Adam, can you make me a drink? You go,
Yes, dear.
yeah, as soon as she comes to the door, that's
Every time I've ever been out with y'all or been anywhere with y'all, and she says something or asks something, you just know you say yes, dear. And
Yes,
depending
dear.
on I guess your
That's it.
opinion on it, there's always a different tone because sometimes it's a very exhausted
yes, dude.
yes,
Yes,
dear.
dear.
Yeah.
Yes, dear.
So that time you went and watched Where the Crawdads Sing instead of watching Thor with us.
Yes, dear.
Are you sure
Yeah.
you don't want to stay in here? Yeah.
I'm good, dear.
Wonderful.
Perfectly happy.
You missed it. It was wonderful. It was me, Trenton, and Andrew in that whole movie theater with one other person sitting up in like the very top, and we had the
Yeah.
middle all to ourselves. It was
great.
That was great. I fell asleep through most of it, and then I woke.
It was a boring movie.
I woke up, and then we was playing pool all of a sudden. I was sitting there by myself because I don't remember where these two went off to, but I was sitting in the lobby by myself, and there's this cop walking back and forth, and finally, he just come over there and sat down with me, and me and him just started talking. Because I guess the movie theater was technically like closed, I guess, and they were just trying to get everybody out, and there I am just sitting there by myself at a table. My friends are gone, and Dixon riding with y'all, and I don't even know where y'all are.
No, we're still in the movie.
Oh gosh.
I'll tell you though, I had a lot of fun going to Gatlinburg with y'all though.
Oh, that was a blast.
It was.
Well, what's one of your highlights from that trip?
Oh, can we talk about your part-time job?
Sure.
That was nuts. That's what that was.
Oh.
You know it. I try to leave a good impression, and
You
sometimes
You left an impression, all right.
sometimes I just get a little crazy, and they just fed into my craziness when we went to Dick's Last Resort.
They loved it. They ate it up, man.
They did.
I just can't believe both of the managers offered me a job.
Now, if only you lived toward Gatlin.
I just have like about a 5-7 hour commute to work every day.
Oh yeah.
That would not be worth it. You're good, sir.
It would not.
Oh no.
Like, I'm gonna need a small loan to drive to work.
Yeah. Buy me a place to stay.
Oh yeah.
That would be a very interesting place to work. I couldn't imagine getting paid to just be rude to people. Just be rude in a jokingly way to people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I can just be rude to somebody, and I guess I'll get paid a knuckle sandwich, but that's not the currency I'm looking for.
No. You definitely get paid to work there.
Yeah, that was an adventure to say the least.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
No. Seeing you get off that roller coaster for the first time.
Oh God,
Oh,
You were a
man.
little green, sir.
I did not like that roller. They said it's the first roller coaster. It's not that bad. One of the fastest ones in that park.
Yeah, one of the
We
fastest ones.
shot up over that hill, and all I could see was sideways, up, this way, that way. And I was like, oh, God.
Okay.
And then once we got over that hill, we just shot. We had to have been going like at least 60 miles an hour.
You have to ask Ma Pig about my roller coaster picture.
Oh, buddy. Oh,
Also
They
was,
talked me into riding the Tennessee Tornado.
yeah, that was the one that's just a
The
little
wooden
faster.
coaster.
yeah,
little
no.
faster than the one you
I don't know about it. No.
So I'm sitting in that thing, and I've got Hope next to me. I know I'm talking about your wife. I make you move visually.
Oh
And
man.
all this roller coaster has, it don't have no safety buckles or nothing. It's just a lap bar.
Ooh, speaking of lap bars,
And that
got one
lap
after
bar,
this.
was a good bit away.
Yeah.
And we're going down, up there, around, and I'm lifting up out of my seat. And I'm like, nope, this boy wants his feet on the ground. And I'm just like, y'all should see the picture. Your mama has it.
I know she does. I've seen it.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
so-
Some Snapchat right now, I
It's
think.
absolutely mint. I mean, this is just a great picture.
We got on that one. It's like probably the least.
The most.
It's probably the kid ride there.
Yeah, it's probably.
Me and Andrew get down. They have a lap bar. Stops at my legs, not Andrew's. So there's at least a good there's like this much room,
Yeah.
and we get to going, and there was 2 big drops in it. We didn't know that. Like I didn't
It
know
was
that.
a dark
of course.
cave. Like nobody knows that.
Nobody knows
The
that.
first one came out of nowhere, and Andrew told me right after, he was like, "I about just flew out of the seat," and I was like, "Oh, okay." Well, I could see the next drop coming, so I just laid over basically on Andrew, and I could feel him like getting pushed up on me, and I feel like we would have lost Andrew if I wasn't laid over him. Like
Yeah.
he would have got thrown out and been part of it, because when you're
Like-
going through, there's little cowboys and stuff, like little cardboards moving.
I would have had to pick up a cowboy hat and just got at it. I mean,
He would have just been
And you
sitting in a
would've come
rocking
out
chair.
and be like, where's
Help.
Andrew? He's back here somewhere.
No, Andrew just got thrown out. It's all right.
he's in the Cowboy Scene 5. That's where he's at.
No, I will
Andrew,
say
that cowgirl, yeah, probably.
Oh man.
we did something pretty funny when we was at Dollywood, and
Oh.
Shelby come and ate with us. She come and ate with me and Andrew.
She
And
did?
after we got done eating or whatever, we were gonna come back because Shelby didn't have her phone. She left it in Miss Julia's bag. So she's depending on us to take her to where y'all are, so she can go ride this ride with Sarah and them. Well, Shelby keeps asking us where to go, and Andrew went to pull out his phone and get the directions, and I said, "This is the no phone challenge." So he just put his phone away, and we start telling her to go all these different directions. We had her lost for an hour. We walked. We walked for a whole hour.
Y'all were-
She was so mad at us.
Mine was, mine was plumb at the back.
Y'all were like,
We were all the way at the
way
front.
in the back,
Yeah,
and we were in the
way
front.
in
We
the
were
back.
just basically doing circles.
Yeah.
Like,
We were way in the back.
we were making big circles, and by the time we got back to where we kind of started, she was like, "Y'all," she's like, "Y'all are lying to me,"
She got
because
mad.
she went up to one of the maps because she said, "Why don't y'all pull it up and something?" I said, "No, we'll just find the map. We'll find where to go." She found the map and said, "We need to go this way." And Andrew pulled it up on his phone next to me, and it was like complete opposite. Yeah, we need to go that way. So therefore, we got lost for an hour.
Hey Shelby, make sure you hit like and subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you know, that Zach fellow of hers, he's pretty nice. He's a pretty cool guy, ain't he?
Yeah, I was Zach Birkin.
Zach, he's great.
I hear Zach actually loves this podcast.
He does. He
Yeah.
does.
He's,
good, he should.
Shelby said that he was our #1 fan.
Sweet.
They were watching it on their TV. They sent it in the group chat.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know why, but every time somebody sends me a picture or video of them watching it on their TV, it just cracks me up. Because there I am. There's this face. And that was just the first episode, just sitting on a TV in somebody's house. Like, I feel like Jerry Seinfeld.
Well, you got any jokes for us?
Not offhand. But,
Oh, man.
yeah, I definitely had a lot of fun on the
Oh
Gatlinburg.
man, that was a blast.
Oh, yeah. That was,
And, to be honest with you, recliner slept like a champ.
you know, that brick house did not. That brick house did not. You lay
Yeah,
down
that
on
couch
thing.
was interesting. You sit down here, it's not going down.
Like, it didn't have any like shock or something. You jumped on that couch, you'd break whatever you landed on.
Yeah,
You
man.
would.
I went to lay down on that thing first time. I was like, oh, I'm tired. You know, lay back. That was the first mistake I made while we was there right there. Oh, man.
I could only imagine stubbing your toe on that couch.
Oh, and on the cushion.
Yeah, just a cushion.
Cushion with a steel plate, dude. Jeez.
I mean, it was cool and all that it was a pull-out, but it was just, I
We
guess,
could pull
poor
it out.
design that they put
Yeah.
that big table in the middle of the room. We
Table
couldn't
was
even get
huge. You could have slept on that table.
the.
I could have
Might be
slept.
more comfortable.
It really
You
might
ain't
have been.
lying. Yeah, my gosh. I
we had a good time in Gatlinburg.
I put my earbuds in every night when I gotta watch YouTube to go to sleep, and I put my earbuds in so I didn't wake anybody up blaring it. And I'd wake up every morning playing Find the Earbuds because they were the same exact color as that recliner.
Oh,
So I would, because I kept waking up before everybody, or if I woke up, like I'd hear you in the other room just trying to, trying to be quiet like I was, and so I was just, I'd turn my volume up and I'd play some really loud music, and I'd just stick my ear up to the recliner, and I'd crawl around on the floor until I found both my earbuds. Now this one night, I mean, Andrew was snoring loud.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'll do that.
I could only imagine how bad I was snoring that night. Because
man, you got to try to wake up with him. Dude's alarm's going off for 40 minutes over here.
he's snoring louder than it.
Yeah, I am.
He ain't snoring. It's just his alarm. I can hear his alarm back in my bedroom going off at the same time mine does, and then his just continues to go off.
The whole time this
And
guy's
I'm getting ready to roll out the house, and I'm just like, Adric, your alarm.
And I go, yep, I hit it and then go back to sleep. That's it every
Pretty
time.
much, yeah.
And I do the same thing. My alarm will wake me up, but like it's like I'm subconsciously awake.
Yeah.
And me and Dad will have whole conversations.
Ooh.
And then I'll just, yeah, I'm up. Never wake back up.
I've always been able just to get up and go.
I usually can, but sometimes I don't know. And it's when I go to bed like the earliest too. It's like when I sleep too long, it happens. Like I'll just, it's like I'm subconsciously awake. Me and my dad had a whole conversation, And he tried bringing it up, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, we talked about this. So now most of the time when I wake up, I'll ask him if he told me something. Because, I'd hate to not remember. Hey, make sure you take the garbage
record all
bag.
your conversations.
Yeah, start just recording.
Just monitor my sleep.
Yeah, that's it.
At this point, you had a conversation with your dog.
I hope it was a good one.
I hate those. Because I can go to sleep fully clothed sometimes, and I'll wake up without a piece of clothing on. And I'm like, I don't even remember taking it off. Like, I can go to sleep in pajama pants, t-shirt. I wake up in just some underwear.
Do you have a walker?
No.
Good.
I'm not the guy. I
don't
promise.
see you going down the highway.
Do you got a white tank top by chance?
I do. I do
Oh.
have a wife beater.
I'm gonna find that walker wherever you're hiding it.
Don't tell anybody.
They said it was an old guy. I bet it wasn't.
Yeah, for sure. I bet it wasn't. I don't know. I have intel, guys. It just was not an old guy. I don't. You
Something
I
can.
tells
just
me.
happen to know for a fact. Watch episode 4. You will see.
The time I went to jail for using my walker to get to town. Yeah, but
It was a non-motorized device, so that can't be on the highway.
That's right.
there was this guy. He come to town on a scooter the other day, like an actual you stand on it scooter that was electric.
Yeah,
Drove it to town from where was he from? Flatwoods.
Flatwoods. He drove
Ooh,
that thing from
It
Flatwoods.
could go up to like 60, wasn't
Yes.
it? 60
Ooh.
miles an hour.
I wouldn't
He rode
trust
it
that.
all the way to
like
Flatwoods.
those things that you see the mall cops riding on. It was one of those.
It was a Segway.
Yes,
Or
it was a
scooter?
Segway.
Okay, well he drove it all the way from Flatwoods.
Ooh,
That's what he said. Now,
that'd be rough.
I haven't seen the guy since, so I don't know where, if he's in Dead
Well,
Man's
he's
Curve or
walking
what.
back towards carrying his
battery
Segway.
died.
Carried a Segway back to Flatwoods.
He couldn't find nowhere to charge it.
60 miles
He
an
said-
hour.
He said it didn't even lose a battery on the way from Flatwoods to town. Didn't lose a charge.
That is insane.
That's
I
crazy.
want one of them to play with.
Yes.
Exactly.
I'd probably end up dead though.
Oh, I would definitely end up in a tree somewhere.
I'd call dispatch. Hey, I'm fine, but my Segway just ran away from me. My Segway's in a tree.
Sir, is your Segway wearing pants?
No, and it's got a walker.
Oh, man.
Well, I know where to find it.
I'm in between Lowell and Linden.
I know exactly where to find it.
Oh, man.
God.
You see a Segway shopping in Food Giant? Like, what's going on?
What are you doing, dude? I'll tell you, Andrew. I was after that call, that specific call. I was talking to your grandfather,
Oh, gosh.
and he was doubled over laughing. Thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, sure.
I was like, it's pretty rough. Like that dude, you know, he's just minding his own business. And
Yeah.
all of a
Hey,
sudden the
he's
cop's like, pull over. I'm not sure how we're gonna do this here.
Pull over? Let me detain you, I guess.
Where are you going?
Dude,
And
where's your,
secondly, where's your pants?
where's your pants,
Now
man?
my concern was, did he have anything else on?
Oh.
Or was he walking down the road showing the goods? So I had to ask the deputy
Was he?
on a phone call. I was like, was he wearing anything? And he was like, yeah, he had his big black socks pulled up to his knees. He did have some shoes on.
Hey, at least he had the
Okay,
shoes on.
good.
He had some loafers on, and then he had his boxers and his tank top on.
Oh, so he had boxers on.
Yeah.
Well, what's the problem with somebody just
So
walking
that's
down the
good.
road?
That's good. At least he had something on.
That's good.
They're like, yeah, they were an open fly boxer, and I just had to keep turning my head,
Oh,
making sure everything's good here.
gosh.
Don't tell your deputies to drive by my house then at any point in the day, because when I'm out in that yard, I ain't got no pants on.
Pull over.
I'm in my
No, we're
yard.
gonna keep going.
You have a interesting day,
Imagine
sir.
if he tried to run from the cops, though. Like, I mean, he starts running full sprint with that walker.
County, I'm in a low speed pursuit.
I'm gonna need a roadblock.
Oh gosh.
Take your time.
Yeah, please take your time.
I'm enjoying this.
Gonna cruise along.
Really get a crack out of this
Hey,
one.
dude, I'm gonna go get some lunch. Be right back.
He'd come back, moved about 5 foot.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's interesting, man.
That's funny.
I can only imagine being the officer though.
It is not
Tryna-
a job for everybody, but
It's got its up days apparently.
it definitely has its up days, and you know, you get to be friends with a lot of really cool people. You know, the deputies.
Yeah.
You know, most of the EMS folks are, you know, stand-up people. And that's some good people to know. You're out somewhere and get injured, and you're like, hey, here's a paramedic. That's a good thing.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, feller. What's up?
Yeah, come straighten my leg back out, will you?
Fancy meeting you here. Seems like all we do is work when we see each other.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much.
You'd be working on holding back tears. They go to snap your ankle back in place.
Ooh.
Gosh.
You know, things are kind of coming up for our podcast. I mean, obviously, we've been sponsored by Village Pizza, and
And my belly's full, and
yeah,
it's really good.
I mean, Village Pizza alone, so good. It's like
So
immaculate.
good.
I could eat it every day. I used to eat it almost every day when I
Me
worked
too.
there. I would eat Village
I didn't even work there.
almost every day.
Buffet. Every time
Oh
I
yeah,
worked there.
even when I worked at camp, we'd go to the buffet.
Buffet is amazing.
I could tear that thing up.
Yeah.
But
Easy.
alongside with us being sponsored by Village, we've also dropped some merchandise.
Sweet.
We have.
Have you seen it?
I don't think I have seen it.
Let me show you this merch, actually.
Mama Pig was supposed to show you, but I guess
She forgot.
she must have forgot. Either that or she was too busy kicking you in the shin when
Yeah.
you come indoors. I don't know.
Running my knee into a dresser.
But
Yeah.
the link will be in the description. This merch right here, the one that you're looking at, we offer. It's the same design on a woman's T-shirt, a regular T-shirt, and on a hoodie, a sweatshirt. It's the same design. You can either get them in gray, black, or white. They're actually pretty cool.
I like
Can't wait
that.
for mine to come in so I can just rock it. And yeah, it's founder merch, so it will be gone soon. It'll stay around for about a month or so, and then that merch will be gone, and we'll drop our second line. So yeah, if you want to get in on the founders merch, make sure you get it pretty soon because it will be gone after a
Limited
while.
supply. Limited supply.
If you're really good looking, folks, you need to jump on this.
Yeah. With the next drop, we're probably gonna drop hats, coffee cups,
Oh yeah.
all
You know
that
I'm fixing to
shebang.
buy like
You gotta
eight
rock
hats.
the hat for sure.
I'm gonna have one every color.
Because I'm a hoodie guy, obviously. Like jackets are my thing. Hats don't really fit my head when my hair's this long. This guy in Trenton, hats.
Hats.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen Trenton's dash?
Oh yeah.
Have you seen this guy's room?
That's why he can't roll his window down and go down the road.
Yeah.
If you walk into my room 5 foot,
I had this pink Bible this one time, and I learned my lesson about putting stuff on my dash because I always kept that pink Bible on my dash right out the window. I stopped and went and found it, but dude, that sucked. It just got slung out.
at least it was a pink Bible. And
Yeah, but the merch and stuff, yeah, it will really help us out, and you can just rock what you like, man, and you can wear it anywhere. The Perry County Podcast merch, it's the official merch, whatever. You can see the website. You got pictures of me, him, and the other goon. Yeah.
Yep, the whole squad right there.
We'd really appreciate it if you bought it. If not, it's cool. But like I said, if you are going to buy it, it is a limited supply, and it is our founder merch. So thank you for, even if you just check it out, that'd be pretty cool. Link is in the description. But, yeah, I got my big question for you, my big kicker.
Right ahead.
What piece of advice do you think our young adults need to hear? Like, what's the biggest piece of advice you think people our age, maybe a little older, maybe even a little younger, or maybe even people like your age or a little younger than you, what do you think they need to hear right now? What piece of advice do you got?
Man, that's real quality stuff right there. I mean,
Well, you know, there's so much you want to say. You know, you want to tell people just relax. God's got it.
Yeah.
You know, don't. You're worrying. You're stressing. It ain't gonna do you no good. Put your hands together. Give it to God. And go on about your day. I want to tell people, don't be self-absorbed. Don't be self-centered. This world ain't about you. It's about all of us. We all have to live in it. So let's make the best of it. Help each other. Be good to each other. And you'll get good things back. I love to tell people, get into something that you really enjoy doing. For me, it's helping people, obviously. I mean, every job I do does that.
Yeah, everything you do, does. You're helping somebody in every
Helping
aspect.
somebody in something.
Then you come home and mom's barking at you as soon as you get in the door.
The helping doesn't end.
No, it never is.
It never ends.
The extent, and then obviously that shows
You know,
just how
sometimes-
passionate you are about it. Just the extent of it doesn't end. It's just
There's always going to be people who need something.
there's always people that need help.
Sometimes
Always.
this guy shoves us under a trailer, and we just get under there. Yeah. Yeah.
He'll crawl around in that puddle.
Oh man.
I played in the puddle.
Yeah. So did I.
My gloves were busted while I was holding that pop in, right before that water shot out and shot the pop out from where we had it. I'm holding it and I'm squeezing, I'm using a lot of my strength, to be honest with you. Those gloves just couldn't contain my hands. They popped open and
It was bad.
I was just started shaking my head. I looked at Andrew, shaking my head. He seen what was happening, and I said, "Don't even talk about it. I can't hear it right now, or I will throw up everywhere."
Oh, I just looked up at him and I was like, "Oh no."
It wasn't pleasant, but obviously I think I've been in worse situations. I hate to say that, but I think
That's a pretty
I have.
cruddy situation.
Yeah, it
was, but
was real crappy,
Very
none to say
crappy
the least.
situation.
I've been in some bad situations.
I tell you, we went down there that first day whenever we noticed that it wasn't there. Nothing in the pop. I shone my light in and everything. I was like, "Oh, there's a gap there." We get down there the second day.
Oh.
Somebody has left a chocolate surprise.
That is not a Baby Ruth.
No,
No, it wasn't. I mean, it was what was left.
pray
of
for
one.
anybody who would confuse those two things. Ugh.
Yeah.
Just watch the movie Caddyshack.
We'll definitely have to check it out.
Oh,
It's a
gosh.
classic Bill Murray movie, and you will love it. People my age know exactly what I mean when I say Caddyshack.
Oh, gosh.
People y'all's age need to learn what it is.
Oh. Oh gosh.
So Andrew's been exposed to some things.
I feel like I'm going to have to go back home now, and I'm going to be.
Spaceballs
No, the Spaceballs was great.
was great.
Was really great. Did we ever tell Mom that I watched that? By the way, I don't think.
Well, she knows now.
You walked around for like a month going, use the Schwartz, use the Schwartz.
Oh, I couldn't help
And
it.
your mother knows what that is.
It was so good. I thought it was so funny, man.
See? Have you ever seen it? There you go.
It was so
You
funny.
know.
I couldn't help it. It was so funny,
It
man.
was hilarious.
It was really.
It's a
really
funny movie.
Let's see, a lot of people don't know Jay and Silent Bob, but I love Jay and Silent Bob because my dad, he's a big Jay and Silent Bob fan, all the way from Mallrats to I guess it's Clerks 3 that came out now.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen just about all of it.
Andrew has been exposed to
I've been exposed.
Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein. I mean, these are all movies that I was exposed to. My dad showed me that
Yeah.
stuff, and it's always stuck with me, and it was good to pass some of that legacy down to Andrew. And
You got to take a
watch some
little
that
bit of
stuff.
his innocence away.
Not sure it was a little, but
Oh
in
my
the case of
gosh.
Blazing Saddles, I'm pretty sure it was a lot.
There was, I had the innocence there, and then Blazing Saddles came
Gone.
on, and it was like, what's innocence?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
So, see you at the next rescue meeting. Good.
I consider.
Gonna get you to sign on up.
All right. Well, I appreciate you having us and
Yes, sir.
us having you.
Appreciate y'all letting me come on.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, anytime, man.
We'll
Anytime.
just ask you to step off and we'll do our little outro or whatever, and then we'll talk some more after this.
Sounds good.
Well, what do you think, Andrew?
I'm thinking that was a solid episode. Honestly, I thought I was thinking to myself, yeah, it's my dad. You know, we're gonna cut up a little bit. I didn't know we were gonna cut up that much, and it was good.
Yeah, I reckon I learned a little bit about your dad today that I just did not know. Believe it or not.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's crazy. I didn't even know some of those things. He's my dad.
Yeah. You ain't lying.
Oh gosh,
I'm just ashamed Trent couldn't be here for this.
I know it. Would have been a heck of an episode. Still gonna
Yeah.
be a heck of an episode.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, he's a smart guy. He's got a lot to say. He's got a lot. He's been through a lot, so he knows.
You know.
I mean, you take his advice, you listen to him, you learn from him. That man will get you going in the right direction, that's for sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
Maybe don't look at me and go, he's got that kid in the right direction. Maybe don't look at me just yet. Just give it a few
Yeah,
years.
you're working on
I'm
it.
working
You're
on it.
But as always, thank you all for listening, and obviously, thank you all for watching and subscribing.
Mm-hmm.
It means the absolute world to us. And if you want to check out the merch, it's in the description. Also, go get you some Village Pizza.
Top of the
Top
line.
tier, obviously. Go get you some Village Pizza before you watch the podcast next week.
Yo.
Eat it alongside with us. And, yeah, if you don't mind, just hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Smash that like button. Like I said, it means the absolute world to us.
It's absolutely free for y'all. It helps
And,
us out a ton.
Yeah, so come back next week and watch and talk with us. Thank you again for watching and talking with us because it's just our nature.